This is Keith Price's Curtain Call. This is Keith Price for Keith Price's Curtain Call, and we are at Primary Stages doing their press upfronts, which you know, if you follow me a lot, you know that I enjoy everything that Primary Stages seems to do because they are like on the cutting edge of bringing new theatrical presentations every season. And again, I don't know if this is the last of this season's new shows or the second to the last season, but it doesn't matter.
I don't know myself.
No, it's okay. I mean, you know, I should be a little bit more learned. I know, but I come to these things so often that I always forget when the season ends and when the seasons begin. But again, there is a new play coming down the pipe called Exit Strategy, and it's by a new playwright, I guess, of sorts for me, because I'm not familiar a lot with his work, but as I did a little of the research, Holter has written this new piece, and it is talking about something that I think is very, very, very important, at least in terms of the conversations about our public education systems here in this country and how it has changed and how it seems that we are losing the urge to take care of our public education system here in the United States. And again, it's always about those personal stories and those personal pieces that I love with Primary Stages, because it seems like every playwright that has something to do here, there's a little piece of them that's in all of the work that comes through here, and this is no different. And I am now talking to two of the stars of this fantastic new piece, Exit Strategy, Mr. Michael Cullen and Miss Dierdre Madigan. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
It's like we're doing it with the handheld microphone, so I'm kind of like swinging back and forth. So if you're listening and you're thinking you're getting dizzy, it's okay. So, Mr. Cullen, first and foremost, what do you think, and tell me about your character, you and Miss Dierdre, tell me about your characters that you were playing in this show and how it's affecting the story.
These are my characters, a history teacher who's at the end of his teaching life. He's near retirement age. And he's worked for years in an institution that's about to close because of lack of funds and to repair the building and new books and all the really money problems that beset inner city schools. And he becomes almost part of a group that tries to save the school, but he's against it. He's against not saving the school per se, but the idea that the school can be saved.
Wow. And you, Miss Dierdre?
I'm on the same track, a teacher close to retirement age, and I take a different way out. I sort of, my character leaves rather quickly in the play for reasons you'll find out. But these two characters have been friends for years and gone through this, and she's, I'm in the first scene of the play with one of the administrators, you know, chewing him out, going, "Where were you? Where, you know, we're closing. Where were you? You didn't help. You didn't try when we tried, and now you're trying to help us, you know, phase out." And that the exit strategy. And it's the sad thing is that there's no money to fix the schools, but I think the sad thing that's happening in the country today, there's so many cities dealing with it, but I think it's more than that it's the real estate's more important to them than the school. And you have to say, where are our priorities? It doesn't matter if we got an apartment building if we don't have anybody who can afford to live there because they don't have an education to get a job. It's this domino effect that I don't think anybody's really, they're just thinking right now, and they're not, and I just think it's happening everywhere, and it's a sad state. But I mean, beyond that, there's a lot of humor in the play.
Yes, there is. Yes, that's true. There is.
We've really painted a beautiful picture of a dreary, sad place.
No, but this is great. Michael Cullen and Dierdre Madigan here with me on the Curtain Call, and we're talking about this play, Exit Strategy, and it's very interesting that you talk about real estate being more important than education. And right now, if you're looking at just the current climate with the presidential race right now,
it's so hard. It's so hard. Let's take him because he's not as bad as him, but he's not going to win. It just Okay, I'm out of here.
But again, do you see though? There's like a sense of priority change in the way. I mean, I know that I was a public school kid growing up. I don't know. Are you guys public school kids?
Yep.
Yeah, both Catholic and public. Yeah.
So you understand that there was a time when school was like a very important thing, and kids being educated was like a priority that we have in the country. Do you think that at this stage now that that's not the case?
To me, it's become a private case. You can educate your child well if you have the money. Public education was supposed to be for everyone, and it was supposed to be at a certain standard. Mm-hmm. And the government, and the state governments, and federal government, and local governments don't seem to want to fund it anymore.
And charter schools, I think, are taking over, and that's a money business.
So
I think it's perpetuating that, and so the funding's coming away from public schools and filtering into the charter schools, and not everybody can get into them, and they're lotteries. I mean, kids. So too bad. You could have, but your friend can. It's just too much. Too many variables. Too many things up in the air. When you go, it used to be a standard. And it wasn't standard testing. It was just standard curriculum, and you learned it, and everybody sort of came out the same. I mean, I think there were places that excelled or whatever, but it seemed to me there was the playing field was more level, and now it's just so skewed.
And the quality of the teaching itself is suffered, I think, simply because they don't pay teachers enough to attract competent people.
And they expect them to do everything.
Yes, and I don't want to diss people who do that for a living, far from it. But I mean, they have to earn a living. Yeah. It's very important work.
Well, I mean, it's important work that they're doing not only for society, but at the same time, you got to eat. And this is not, you can't be expected to do that kind of work and be have that level of responsibility and not be compensated for it. Talking to Dierdre Madigan and Michael Cullen about the new play Exit Strategy that is coming to primary stages here in New York, is having its New York premiere here, because I believe it started in Chicago as well as run in Philadelphia. So now, were you guys involved in the project in either of those places?
Philly, but Chicago was a non-equity.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a very good but semi-professional production. We just did the both of us just did the show in Philadelphia.
This whole cast, yeah.
We finished almost 4 weeks ago there.
So now, looking at your own theatrical experiences coming into this, because I know, Dierdre, you just a delicate balance this past season. You were understudying.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to do a role where you're actually in it and not have to sit there and hope that Glenn Close doesn't trip on a nail or something.
I never hoped that, because I didn't understudy for her.
Strictly personal.
Oh, God, that did sound bad. No. Love Glenn Close.
I do, too. She's amazing.
I said to my husband the other day, I said, it's so nice I'm going to work and I get to do it. As opposed, it's a great gig, understudying, I'll tell you that. It's a great gig, and that was a beautiful show and wonderful people, but it is nice to do it for yourself.
And it's like, and of course, nerve-wracking. Every night you're going in, it's like, is this going to be the day? Is this going to be the day? Yeah. It's so wild. I love it. Dierdre Madigan with me, and Michael Cullen from the play Exit Strategy that's going to be here at Primary Stages.
At the Cherry Lane Theater.
At the Cherry Lane Theater. PrimaryStages.org for tickets and information. Want me to wrap it up? I'm getting the wrap-up sign. And you're teasing me. Damn it. Because there's so many more things we can talk about. I mean.
It's an endless
subject. Yeah.
It's an endless subject, education in this country.
I love it. Oh, gosh. Well, damn it. Look at them. They're pacing out there. Yeah. This is the thing about this. See, I can make them all nervous, but then I won't ever get to come back. So, again, Michael Cullen, Dierdre Madigan, doing Primary Stages Exit Strategy, the New York premiere by Ike Holters, and again, the conversation about education in America. It's, there's so many other topics that are happening right now in this weird political year, but I really think that one of the reasons that we're having as many problems as we're having is because people are not as bright as they were 20 years or 30 years ago, and and there wasn't a quest to make them brighter.
I don't know if it's a question of there being not as bright. I just think it's a question of the people value things differently than they used to. You were talking about real estate, or money, and I think that is
But teaching
always
the
been
test,
there.
Teaching
Yeah.
the test, not the substance.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we will talk about this more and more and more and more. And I hope that not only do I get to see you guys when the show is up, but I will get to see you doing other things and not having to understudy and wait for stuff. Oh, pal. All right. And we will be back.